Hello everyone, this is Muta from Muta's Store Kitchen. Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite appetizer recipes, samosas, and these are stuffed with ground beef. These are simply delicious crispy wrappers stuffed with spicy ground beef or potatoes and can be served with any sauce of your choice. You are absolutely going to love this recipe. I think you should give it a try. It's actually the mouth-watering spicy ground beef stuffing that's so irresistible, and you can't forget the pastry either. It's so spicy and so delicious. Let's get started. So just sharing some of the spices that I'm using in this video. I like using African spices, but these you can get from Amazon. I have included a link below, and you're also using some of the spices that you can get from your local grocery store, which are not very expensive. So this is a part that requires patience, especially if you're making a lot of samosas. But just remember that your goal is to make the pastry as smooth and as thin as possible. So using a rolling pin, slowly and patiently start rolling a portion of your pastry into a circle. It doesn't have to be perfect right away. Just make sure that it's smooth and it's thin. So in the end, I usually use a small round plate to get my perfect circle. Otherwise, it drives me crazy just to keep trying and trying. So to make it easy on yourself, just use a small plate. And the size of the plate also depends on the size of the samosas, but I use the smallest one that I can find. And you also don't want to make it too small. As you can see, it's just so thin and so delicate, and so make sure you handle it with care, otherwise it tears easily and you don't want to waste anything. So at this point, our pastry should be almost ready. The next step will be to place each one on a hot surface, probably for about 5 seconds on each side. This is to get them a bit crispy. But before we do, I like to smear some cooking oil on each side before exposing them to heat. So this step is super important because we get to create the glue that will help our triangular shaped samosas stay in place. So by mixing all-purpose flour with water, stir until the mixture is thick as paste. The content of the water and the flour depends on how much paste you need. It really varies. Okay, so one at a time, smear the paste around the edges of your pastry. And then once you do that, in the center, you're going to add your choice of filling. I'm using ground beef. Once that's done, you're going to fold the pastry into a triangular shape. Make sure you take your time with this and continue the process until all the pastries have been folded. So the final step is to fry our folded samosas in medium hot oil. It's always a good idea to test the temperature of the oil by placing one samosa to see how the oil actually responds. Remember, the goal is to have golden brown samosas as our finished product.